My brain just been foggy past few years. All I ever wanted was to be a good dad. Dalton, did you ever try and get help? I'm just trying to push through.
Why didn't you drive Dalton to college? You still have a few weeks before.
The world of Insidious. The red door opens once more to the unnerving depths of fear, exploring the shadows that have long lingered just out of reach. In this chilling chapter, the story dives into the unsettling intersection of memory and the supernatural, where the walls of a home become more than mere barriers. They transform into thresholds to the unknown. Every creak, shadow, and flicker of light holds the potential to unmask what has been hidden, making the familiar feel alien and threatening. This isn't just a haunting, it's an intimate examination of the weight of past choices and the way they echo into the present, shaping the very fabric of reality for those who dare to confront them. The tension in the red door is not merely external. It seeps into the spaces between people, between moments, and between breaths. There is a palpable anxiety that threads its way through the story, making every step into the house feel like a descent into a world where nothing is as it seems. Fear here is not just the sudden jolt of a ghostly figure, but the slow, creeping dread that arrives when the mind begins to question its own memories. The supernatural becomes an extension of the psychological, a mirror reflecting the unresolved traumas that have long festered in silence. Every door closed, every hallway crossed, is a journey through both space and mind, reminding us that some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. The atmosphere is built meticulously, with a masterful balance of darkness and silence that heightens every heartbeat. Shadows are not merely visual. They are tactile, pressing down on the characters and the audience alike. The house itself becomes a character, its walls breathing, shifting, and responding to the fears that inhabit it. Sound is wielded with surgical precision, transforming ordinary noises into instruments of terror. A whisper across a hallway, the distant creak of floorboards, the unsettling hum of an unseen presence all combine to create an immersive environment where tension is a living, breathing entity. Every moment demands attention, for even the smallest detail may herald the arrival of something far more sinister. What sets this installment apart is the profound focus on legacy and consequence. The story delves deep into the threads that connect past events to present horrors, exploring how unresolved grief, guilt, and regret can manifest in forms both subtle and terrifying. It reminds viewers that the boundaries between life and death, memory and imagination, are thinner than they might imagine. The red door becomes a metaphor for those hidden traumas, a portal that forces confrontation with what has been long buried. The suspense is relentless because it is rooted in truth, the undeniable truth that our fears often arise not from the unknown, but from the corners of our own hearts we have refused to examine. The horror here is intimate, almost surgical in its precision. Unlike tales that rely solely on spectacle, the red door thrives on the unseen. It understands that the most enduring fear is the one that dwells in imagination, the terror that whispers rather than shouts. It captures the sensation of being watched, the sensation that a presence lingers just beyond perception, always waiting for a lapse in attention. This subtlety intensifies every encounter, making the terrifying not just a series of events, but a persistent sensation that lingers long after the story concludes. Beyond fear, there is a profound exploration of familial bonds and the weight of shared history. The narrative examines the way past decisions ripple through generations, how unresolved pain can pass silently from one person to the next. Relationships become battlegrounds, not merely for supernatural entities, but for the emotional truths that characters have tried to suppress. Each confrontation is both literal and metaphorical, blending psychological tension with spectral terror. The haunting is as much about the ghosts within as it is about those outside, creating layers of fear that operate on multiple levels simultaneously. The Red Door challenges viewers to engage actively with the story, to anticipate and interpret the unseen cues that hint at larger horrors. The pacing is deliberate, allowing suspense to build organically, making each revelation hit with maximum impact. It is a world where patience is rewarded and missteps are punished, where curiosity can lead to discovery or danger. Every scene is meticulously crafted to provoke unease, drawing the audience into a mindset where the line between safety and threat is constantly blurred. The tension is psychological as much as it is visceral, a testament to the careful balance between narrative and fear. There is also a fascinating interplay between light and darkness, both literal and figurative. Shadows conceal threats, but they also symbolize the unacknowledged aspects of the mind and heart. Light is no sanctuary. It is selective, revealing only fragments of truth while concealing the rest. This duality amplifies the sense of vulnerability and uncertainty. The environment is designed to be disorienting, with familiar spaces warped by unseen forces so that characters and viewers alike are never entirely certain where danger lurks. Every frame is layered with intent, creating a tapestry of visual storytelling that communicates dread as effectively as dialogue or action. The emotional stakes are heightened by the sense of inevitability. The Red Door does not merely frighten, it questions, challenges, and provokes reflection. The story asks, how do we reconcile with the past when it refuses to remain buried? How do we confront the darkness within ourselves, especially when it manifests in forms we cannot fully understand? These questions linger, deepening the narrative impact beyond the immediate scares. The horror is meaningful because it is inseparable from the characters' journeys, making every supernatural encounter a mirror for the human experience of fear, loss, and the struggle for closure. Throughout the experience, suspense is amplified by the unexpected. The story embraces unpredictability, turning routine spaces and everyday moments into stages for terror. Hallways become liminal zones, doorways, portals to unseen dimensions, and the ordinary transforms into the uncanny. The audience is kept on edge, constantly reassessing assumptions and expectations. The Red Door demonstrates that the most effective horror is not in the monstrous or grotesque alone, but in the quiet moments of uncertainty and anticipation, the pauses between events where the imagination fills in the shadows. The film also emphasizes the resilience of those who face the unknown. Despite relentless fear and psychological strain, the characters exhibit a determination that adds a layer of humanity to the terror. Their struggles are deeply relatable, even amidst extraordinary circumstances. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the persistence in the face of it, and this theme resonates powerfully throughout the story. It elevates the horror from mere spectacle to a meditation on human fortitude, creating a lasting emotional resonance that complements the physical thrills. Symbolism runs deeply through the narrative, with the Red Door itself acting as a powerful emblem of fear, memory, and consequence. It represents thresholds, choices, and the uncharted territory of both mind and spirit. The door is both barrier and invitation, concealment and revelation. Crossing it is an act of confrontation, demanding bravery, introspection, and acceptance. This layered symbolism enhances the thematic richness, giving the story depth beyond the immediate frights. It speaks to the universal experience of grappling with the unknown, and the courage required to face what lies beyond. The tension is supported by an immersive soundscape that manipulates expectation and perception. Silence is weaponized, punctuated by sudden disruptions that unnerve without overwhelming. The auditory design works in tandem with the visual elements to create a multi-sensory experience of fear. Subtle cues, distant echoes, and the layering of ambient noise make the environment feel alive, responsive, and unpredictable. Each sound serves a purpose, guiding attention, building dread, and sustaining suspense across the narrative arc. At its core, Insidious, The Red Door is an exploration of fear in its most intricate forms. It is less about immediate shock and more about the lingering effects of trauma, the shadows that persist when the lights are on. The story compels the audience to consider the relationship between internal and external threats, revealing that the most terrifying entities are often reflections of unresolved emotional conflicts. This insight gives the horror weight and purpose, transforming it from entertainment into a study of human vulnerability and resilience. The cinematic approach is deliberate and precise, emphasizing atmosphere and mood over spectacle. Camera movement, framing, and lighting are orchestrated to amplify unease, guiding attention and manipulating perspective. Every visual choice reinforces the thematic undercurrents, making the environment itself a character in the narrative. This careful craftsmanship ensures that fear is not fleeting but accumulates, building a persistent sense of tension that lingers beyond individual scenes. Finally, Insidious, The Red Door demonstrates the enduring power of horror to probe the human psyche. It is a story that understands fear as more than a momentary sensation. It is a tool for reflection, confrontation, and catharsis. By intertwining supernatural terror with deeply personal stakes, it creates a layered experience that resonates on multiple levels. The Red Door is not merely a threshold to another world, but a mirror to our own fears, regrets, and the courage required to face them. It lingers in the mind long after the lights are turned on, a haunting meditation on what it truly means to confront the darkness, both within and without.